The learning and teaching strategies that work best for this group are those that acknowledge that the fact that they're able to learn very quickly the simple content and allow them to move on to more complex content, i.e. higher order thinking skills, much quicker. And it's also important to set the context and the purpose for the topic that you're learning about or the skill that you're developing, so that they have an idea of that at the beginning, so that they are able to understand what they're learning, why they're learning it, where that fits within that topic, what skill they're going to be developing, and what that will allow them to move on to next. And it's really important that they're able to work at the higher order thinking skills levels of analysing, evaluating and creating, and that this is done on a frequent basis to encourage good thinking skills. And this will challenge and motivate those students. So what doesn't work well for this group is more activities of the same once they've finished the core ones, different activities but still asking for them to think at lower order thinking levels of remembering, understanding and even applying. And asking them to teach other students doesn't work very well either. It does help to develop their consolidate their understanding and explain it to others, but it doesn't help them to be challenged in their thinking. So what does work well is activities that enable them to think about those topics at a much higher level, including the analysing, evaluating and creating type thinking, and that help them to work in a self-directed or learner-directed way, with the student acting as facilitator. So the kinds of learning that would enable both of those things to happen would be project-based learning, where they're able to research their own projects and consolidate information, bring it together, synthesize it, because that would encourage their higher order thinking skills. Inquiry-based learning, or investigations, where they are asking their own questions and then researching to find out the answers, or conducting experiments to find their answers to questions they may have asked. These will encourage higher order thinking skills automatically. And the last one is complex problem solving, where the problem is set for them, but they have to work out how to solve that problem themselves. And so all of those would encourage both higher order thinking skills and student-led learning. It's also important for these students that they're able to reflect on their learning and think about their personal response to it, because this will add to their understanding of the context and the purpose of that learning, and help them to move from that to further learning later on. So we also want these children to be able to develop skills. That is to develop their independence as a learner, to develop their research skills, so that they are going off and researching information, but also bringing that information together, summarising it and synthesising it, so that we're using higher order thinking skills as part of that exercise. We want them to be able to take part in collaborative learning, so that they're learning team working skills in a way that they can contribute effectively and still be challenged. And we want them to be able to develop those leadership skills as well. So activities where they can take part as a leader and exercise those abilities will also be helpful in terms of meeting their needs.